one thing that all of us have in common is that most of the time we wear clothes. I am sure you've all also gone and bought clothes for yourself. But have you ever thought of where those clothes are coming from and at what cost? Well, fast fashion is causing negative effects on the environment and the people trapped in it, while consumers are going blind to these effects. After researching fast fashion and working in fashion retail for 2 years, I feel I've gained enough knowledge to inform you all on this subject. So first, I will discuss what fast fashion is, the environmental impacts of fast fashion, the human rights issues that fast fashion creates, and finally, ways to buy better. So what is this issue? What makes fashion fast? Well, Quartz Media says that, quote, the way people shop has changed. Customers expect a near constant stream of products to their stores or lose interest. People are fundamentally getting bored quicker, and this has corresponded to a new culture in the digital age. This shift in the way our society thinks has forced a shift in the way that retail stores run. Multiple companies such as Gap, Adidas, and H&M have introduced, quote, fast fashion models to deliver small batches of goods more frequently, according to Quartz Media. We see something on social media and we want it immediately. We are not wanting to wait to get the new styles. News source NPR adds that, quote, the clothing that's mass produced also becomes more affordable, thus attracting customers to buy more. Not only have we become impatient in our shopping, but we have continued to look for cheaper and cheaper options to get these new fashion trends. Now, this huge shift in the market and in the culture has vast negative effects. The biggest impact on the environment fast fashion has is that of disposable clothing. The documentary The True Cost explains how our usage of clothing has skyrocketed, saying, quote, the world now consumes 80 billion new pieces of clothes each year. This is 400% more than the amount that we consumed just 2 decades ago. This number is continuing to climb at an alarming rate. Now, as all of this new clothing is created, we get bored of and discard of clothing at an equally alarming rate. In fact, The True Cost also states that, quote, the average American now generates 82 pounds of textile waste each year. Now, some simple multiplication shows that this is more than 26 billion pounds for just our country alone, which is equal to the weight of more than 2 million elephants each year. Now, all of this clothing does not just disappear quickly, and it's continuing to pile up in landfills at a significantly alarming rate. Not only this, but the materials used in creating our clothing are having impacts on the environment as well. Cotton, which represents nearly half of the total fiber used to make clothing today, is also responsible for 18% of worldwide pesticide use and 25% of insecticide use, according to The True Cost. Now, what may be the most alarming thing about this issue, however, is the way that it affects garment workers. So have you really ever wondered where your clothes come from? Well, The True Cost says that 97% of clothing is now produced overseas, making us very disconnected to the people that make our clothes. There are more than 40 million people working in the garment industry, with 85% of these people being women. These are some of the lowest paid people in the world, and they are not given the same basic rights that we are. They are paid less than $3 a day, which is absolutely nothing. In fact, if companies were to double garment workers' wages and pass that cost directly onto the consumer, it would only add 25 cents to that $5 shirt that you just bought. The conditions that these humans must work in are completely unsafe. Garment factories are notoriously known for not being maintained, and The True Cost says that this contributes to frequent fires and collapses of buildings, killing thousands of workers each year. In fact, I'm going to show you just a little bit about that now.
Factory collapsed, killing more than 1,000. Clashes between clothes factory workers by the police in Cambodia.
Last November, 112 people were killed in another major factory fire. 30,000
Garment workers in Bangladesh paying the price for cheap clothing.
As you can see, this is extremely disturbing and unfair to these people to have to live like that. Now, so what is there that a consumer can do to put an end to this humanitarian and environmental crisis? With this information that I've given you in mind, we must become better consumers and buy better. Here are 5 things that you, as a consumer, can do according to the Washington Post and the True Cost. So the first thing is, whenever you're shopping, to ask yourself, will I wear this 30 times? Looking at a piece of clothing, make sure you're asking yourself this question in order to reduce your textile waste. If you don't plan to wear this piece of clothing at least 30 times, then it is not worth it for you to be purchasing it. Second is to break the cycle. Now, instead of focusing on these new, fast, mini seasons that are coming out every week, slow down and stick to your classic winter and summer seasons. 3 is to spread your fashion money. Shop brands that are producer-centric, meaning they have rigorous fair trade standards and give producers a fair share of profit. 4 is to detox your wardrobe. Fashion is the world's 2nd most polluting industry behind oil. Buy clothes that don't use or have committed to phasing toxic substances out of their clothing, things like organic cotton. And finally, 5 is to join the fashion revolution. Put pressure on brands to be transparent about their practices and get people to ask the big question, where do my clothes come from? In review, I've discussed what fast fashion is, the environmental impacts of it, the humanitarian rights issues that fast fashion creates, and finally, ways to buy better. Fast fashion is causing negative effects on the environment and the people trapped by it while these consumers go blind. I hope that the next time you head out shopping, to paraphrase Gandhi, I hope you try to be the change you wish to see in your wardrobe. Thank you.